Hello, folks. It is Wednesday. It's 10 a.m. here on my side of the world. I don't know where you are, what time it is, but hello and welcome. For those of you who are in the chat, if you can confirm that you can see and hear everything, I will not stress out about the technology. So, welcome. It is Wednesday, and we are here today to talk about our websites and do some accountability and all of the things. And I'm excited to see those of you who are here live, and then also speak to those of you who catch this on the replay. And if you are here on the replay, please go down into the comments and let me know that you were here, and also what happened with you this week as far as what you were able to get done. And it would just be really great to continue to use this time as our accountability lever. Like this morning, I know I probably say this almost every week, maybe every week, but having this routine of getting here has gotten me to the computer earlier in the day than I would have, and I have gotten more done today simply because I knew that this was going to be happening today. Like, knowing publicly I would have to come up and say, hey, here's what I got done or not, makes a difference for me. So anyway, thank you again. Going to the chat, and oh my goodness, Chris is here. Niche Safari Chris says he remembered. Chris always forgets, and I can our friendship, I can see how valuable you feel that I am. So Chris is here today, and just so you know, if you are new to this stream, if it is broken today for the next hour, it's Chris's fault. There is Adrian. What's going on? Adrian, I would love to know from your side of the world, just like what is going on and what is the feeling where you are. I had a talk last night with some folks about, the news that we're getting, and just this feeling that we really don't know what's going on, and it's really hard to trust the news, right? In the States, the news is just so bonkers right now, and like people argue about where to get their news and where to get their information. And so just and for anybody else who's here live or on the replay, if they want to share just personally what they have, what they know, or it's actual facts versus secondhand information, I mean, that's always welcome. Chris says fantastic joke and original. Yes, well, that's me. I'm here for your entertainment, because there's very little value here otherwise. Pete says, is it that time already? Yes, it is. And there is Margaret. What's going on, Margaret? Margaret, I just cannot wait for you to tell me more about how things are going. And I won't ask you to share them here, but I still want to know more about your progress. Lady D, what is going on? Joanne said something and then retracted it. I'm sure it was fine. And there is Andy. What's going on, Andy Willie? And Zach. So, folks, what I managed to get done in the last week was not that much, because it was a kids on weekend, but I am headed into a kids off weekend. And so I have like big plans. So I ordered a bunch of content at the end of last month, and then in the first week, right? So even though I didn't have much time to work last week, I also didn't have a lot of content to post anyway. So it's not like I can feel, like I want to like punish myself. Oh, I didn't get anything done. I didn't have that much to do as far as, editing and posting outsourced content. So I have a bunch of stuff in the queue today, and I'm going to be posting as much of that as possible as I can today, and also ordering content for the rest of the month. So I'm super jazzed about it. Oh, there's Joanne. She's saying, hey, what's up? And Adrian is in Romania. Yes, I would like to know more about what it is like living in Romania, aside from all of the cats. Apparently, so far, what I know about Romania is there are many cats. I did want to give a shout out to Keith, our friend, Minted Empire Keith. Two things. Keith, one, was able to finally bring his finally, like it's like he's not been at it for a long time, but his YouTube channel has reached 1,000 subscribers. And Keith, if you're catching this live or on the replay, this is my chance to play you the. So congratulations on hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark. That is a big deal. It took me forever, and I'm glad to watch people do it much quicker than me. But it's like one of those milestones. You're like, you want to check the box. You're like, woohoo, like did it. And also, Keith, in the last week, and I know he's been working on this video for several weeks. Did a roundup video of many of the YouTuber bloggers that are in our space, and that link, I'm pretty sure I put it in the description, but if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely do that. It's actually in my queue to watch because he pushed it out on a day that I've had kids and it's a longer video. And because I knew it was going to be good, I just had to set it aside and I've been waiting for an opportunity to check it out. So I plan on doing that basically after this live stream. So thank you so much, Keith, for one, asking me to participate in it. And I actually had to click on it to get the link to share it. So to put it in the description, and the first person I saw was my face. I was like, oh my God, you opened with my face. And I'm making some kind of face like, so anyway, I can't wait to watch it. I'm excited about it and also a little nervous because I saw who else is in the video. I was like, man, do I really deserve to be in there with everybody else? Checking the chat. I think I said hi to Zach, but if I didn't, I'm saying, hey, Zach, and I want to know how's it going. Andy says, what WordPress theme do you mainly use? I would love to send this also to the to crowdsource the information for that. For me personally, the themes that I'm currently using on the sites that I primarily work on is the GeneratePress. I have both free and the premium versions of GeneratePress, and I am using Popcorn on, I think, 2 sites right now. I'm using it on the Otis, the age domain case study site, and also the fight site, my code name fight site. So I have it on 2 sites right now. Thank you so very much, by the way, Alex and Carl and Phil, for copying me the license because I am enjoying using it. And basically, it's super easy to use. Keith, oh, Keith is here. Keith, I don't know when you popped in because I'm behind on the chat. I really hope you heard me play you a short tune to congratulate you on hitting 1,000 subscribers. Adrian, because I had asked about how things are going on his side of the world, he says it's not looking good. He says we in Romania are trying to help Ukrainians that come into our country with everything that we can. Yeah, it's sitting over here at my desk right here, I feel very helpless, right? You know that people are having a tough time and like I would like to do something. It's just hard to know what, right? Like you never really know if you just put money out there on the internet, like will it go someplace useful? And like is aid, like if you were to give money to an aid agency, like is that aid actually going to be able to get to some place that's helpful? And so yeah, I just would love to continue to know more from anybody who has personal knowledge. Feel free to share it in the chat. Yeah. Margaret says she uses GeneratePress and Astra. I tend to prefer GeneratePress for its simplicity. I've also used Astra in the past and liked it. Keith says that I will enjoy the video. I said I hope to enjoy I mean, I have high hopes for it. I've seen people like writing in the comments, you know, the various places that the video is posted. So I hear that you worked really hard on it, like you spent a lot of time on it, and I can't wait to see it. Also, smash the like button. I don't think it actually does anything, but it does make my heart feel fuzzy. Makes me feel good to do that. I had the best opening line. What did I say? That's the thing. I never remember what and I don't usually watch, like rewatch myself. And so I'm kind of afraid of what that was. So no, what did I say? Ruin it, please, for me. I want to know. Jay-Z says that he used GeneratePress, congratulating Keith on the 1K subs. Pete says, yes, that was a tune. That is the extent of my harmonica playing abilities. That's what it is. Don't get your hopes up like really high as far as my skills as a musician. For those of you who smashed the like button, thank you for doing that. Like I said, I don't know if it does anything, but maybe it does. Maybe. Andy says that he loved Astra with Elementor, but want to get as light as possible. Yeah, I mean, there's still some folks who are using Elementor and don't have problems with it. I think Alex is still using, or was before Popcorn was using Elementor and still managed to build something that was good. For me, it's like more things. Like I don't want more things. I want less things because then I have to learn how to do more things that I don't want to. Chris says that he is an Astra guy. GP GeneratePress was not customizable for me. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to customize anything. I just want the squares and the space to put the content there and let Google do its thing. And then more customization is like more opportunities for me to break stuff. But if you know how to do things safely, then good on you. Keith said, what a great, oh, so what I said was, what a great question. And then I talked about beanstalks. I admit that did happen. What a great question. Yes, well, next time, if there's like specific things you need me to say, I will be happy to pretend that it was organic. Eric says, quick question. Does anyone use a plugin to manage the media library in WordPress? As we add images and videos, I think it would be useful. Yeah, that's a great thought. And maybe if there is not such thing in the future, somebody should make such thing and then make money from it. I don't. But maybe somebody else knows. Zach says he's using Astra and no strong reason. It worked well and didn't feel like changing. The decision was worth more time. Yeah, I think it is sufficient. I think it is sufficient. Let's see. Andy says Astra Pro and the starter templates are great for clients. For my affiliate stuff, I'm loving Cadence Pro and Blocks. Yeah, a lot of people are using Cadence and are happy with it. I mean, I actually feel like they become fans, right? Because people who like Cadence like to like tell everybody like they're missing out. Not, I'm not saying you do, Andy. I guess I'm thinking of some other people who like Cadence. Then there's like Cadence is amazing, and everybody should know that Cadence is amazing, is amazing and stuff. Key says that GeneratePress needs that additional blocks plugin to get a customized homepage. Oh yeah, that's totally what I did. I used the additional blocks plugin at one point when I decided I wanted to try making a customized homepage, and now I've just dumped that and gone with a template because I can't be bothered. Jay-Z says he's a GeneratePress fanboy. All right, so we're 15 minutes in. I have done nothing so far. I want to get to the things that are on my list to do, and primarily it's an accountability update, and I'm going to ask for folks in the chat to do the same just so we can keep ourselves on track, right? Like January, it's really easy to come out the gate and like be really fired up. You know, I my New Year's resolution, like I'm going to start off the year strong, but the honeymoon period of the year is over now. So the additional, like the initial sprint, right? The content sprint of January, I worked really hard in January, had a great January, and then sort of melted down. Like I don't want to say burnout because that sounds like a bad word, but you know, in February I felt tired, and in March, having been slightly dinged by whatever update rolled out in the last couple of weeks, like mentally the burden of pushing forward and in a situation when things aren't necessarily as positive as I would like. I mean, it's heavy, right? I mean, this is first world problems because there are folks around the world who have it much worse off than me. So let's just put that. I acknowledge this, but here's what I'm going to try and do is, you know, basically saying, okay, one, it's okay to say, yeah, it's hard right now. Two, like, what am I going to do to continue to move this forward? Because I still have some really big goals for the year. And I know that many folks who are in the chat right now also have some major goals. Some people are trying to get their first blog to 500 articles in 1 year, which is it's hard the first time that, well, probably every time, especially if you're not necessarily sitting on a giant pot of gold, which can then be used to outsource to articles. I am not sitting on said pot of gold, so it involves more time and effort. But also folks who are just, they've gotten started and really want to just build something that earns money for the first time. And March is like that dead zone, right? Where you started something in January and you were fired up in January, and now it's February, and then it's March, and nothing is happening yet. Or maybe things are not indexed yet, or maybe the traffic has not come in yet. And this is a place, and I'm just going to say this is a safe space for people who this is going to start happening, where people will start to quit. They will stop. They will get distracted. And so March, I feel like, is the time for us to come together and say, okay, I am still committed to that original goal, and here's how I'm going to get there. So I guess this is a long-winded way of saying that I'm looking to reaffirm my original goals for the year, and I just want to talk a bit about each of the 3 sites that I'm planning on working on right now. And the beginning of the year, I said I was going to work on the fight site, my Otis case study, age domain case study series that I started in January, and also the Miga site. And so starting off with the Miga site, I teased like for the last 2 weeks that I thought the site was going to go over 100,000 page views over a 30-day period, like per month, and it didn't happen yet. It kind of got snagged in the update, and so it felt like it was like a stutter at like. But I'm stuck right now around 98,000 page views a month, which is I'm not crying. It's good. Like I want to like be able to check that box. Like it'd be cool if I had a little graphic. Like oh, you could see the little burn I burned myself when I was making popcorn. Um, so check the box of getting a website to 100,000 page views a month, and now it would be 15 months. But I will say that I'm close and still continuing to put content there. So right now that site has 765 posts, and my original goal was to try and put another 500 posts up on it in 2023. But I think I'm going to go to try to get 1,000 posts up there. I'm in 2022. What year is it? It's 2022. So the goal at the end of this year, at the end of 2022, is now to get to at least 1,500 posts. And so I feel like I'm well on my way. As far as earnings, like the last 30 days earnings, especially with where the site is on Mediavine now, is around 20 between 2,100 and $2,200, so $2,100. So basically bounced back from the Q4. So January was worse, but not that much worse. And then traffic right now is going up. And for me, for this site in particular, the RPMs in February were in like, I think the average was $26, which seems really high to me for this time of year. And you say, well, why is that? Like, what is it about the site that has the RPMs makes the RPMs higher? And I've looked at the pages that have this higher RPM, and most of them are web pages or articles that reference a place, like doing something in a place or going to this place or something about a place. So it's like the niche plus the place. Many of those articles have an average RPM of 40 or even 50 or higher dollars. So needless to say, I am investing heavily in location based articles associated with the topic, because the other articles that are not about the location just are not I mean, they're doing well, they're getting traffic, but the RPM is not there. And it's pretty cool to have a site in February that has the RPM of 26. And I have my fingers really crossed that Q4 will be amazing, right? Say, okay, but I don't know. We will see. So I feel pretty good about the progress of this. The plan is to continue to push really hard, to push really hard on this. Oh, I was going to say that I saw this morning that Charlie, passive priority YouTuber, Charlie got interviewed on the Niche Pursuits podcast, and I have not had a chance to watch it yet or listen to it, but the title was 1,000 posts equaling $5,000. And so if Charlie is getting $5,000 out of 1,000 posts, for one, I want to like congratulate him for a job well done, because he worked really hard to do that in 1 year, especially in a time of indexing. But then part of me is like, oh, like maybe if I get my site to 1,000 posts, this site will earn $5,000. And I don't know, but anyway, that's I'm just thinking about the next step. So like mindset wise, I just put it in my brain that I need to get to 1,000 posts next. So not necessarily thinking about 1,500 or 2,000 or beyond. It's like, okay, just set my sights on 1,000 total as quickly as possible, and then moving on. And I feel good. I feel good. I would love it if each article got more page views on average. It's not awesome. It's only, I think, between 130 and 140. But Margaret reminded me last week that much of this content has not yet necessarily like aged in. And so that, maybe if I stopped posting content now, in 2 or 3 months, the average page views per article would be higher. But for now, it's between 130 and 140. And hopefully that goes up. I'm checking the chat because I went on a tangent this way, and I just wanted to see what was going on over in the chat, people. Let's see. The last time I checked, we were talking about themes and cadence. And then friend asks blogging versus YouTube for a future. And Chris says blogging plus YouTube. Yeah, I'm on the blogging plus YouTube or YouTube plus blogging, like those two things. Andy admits I feel like we're in a safe space. And Andy says, hello, I am Andy. I suffer from shiny object syndrome. Or were you just saying what I said? Because I do suffer from it. But this is a safe space, Andy. Hello. And yes, many people, and you could even put up your hand if you are willing to admit that you suffer from shiny object syndrome. I am fully willing to admit that I do, and my hand looks super large right here, like this. I suffer from shiny object syndrome, and the way I have sought to combat this is by coming to my group once a week to confess how well I have done with my shiny object syndrome and how I have worked to combat this. So this is a safe space, Andy, for our addiction meeting. Keith says that he built a site for his wife using Cadence Pro, and he was also impressed with it. Well, there you go. And talking about the media section of WordPress plugin, he says he wished that he had a folder for each article, so all the medias for each article would be gathered. It would be nice if there was like some way to organize these things. I do agree. That would be cool. Adrian wants to know, has anyone tried the new Popcorn full site editor theme yet? I have not. And in fact, having more ability to make changes and to customize things for me is not a good thing because it's a distraction for me. I just want to get the content, put the content on there, and then have it work and then repeat. Like I just having more options for me isn't that good. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, thank you, Keith. Let's see. Eric says he will be changing a job at the beginning of next month, the handover, and he's slowing down. So yes, now is a tough time. And my father was here at the house last night. Just brought some pizza over and then presents for the kids, and we were talking about how hard it is for people right now. And this is what I said to him. I just said, Dad, and I say it like that. I don't know why. I said, Dad, I'm ever the optimist. I can't help it. I can't help but see this as an opportunity. When things are hard, like this is a time when great things are born, right? Like finding a way to push through and because a lot of people are feeling this way, right? Like feeling depressed and like feeling helpless. And it's like the perfect time. I don't want to say to take advantage, but kind of this what it feels like to take advantage of the fact that a lot of people aren't pushing because it's hard to do so. And so if you can just find a way, even if it's not necessarily getting coming up with eBay, right? Or Airbnb or like launching a Fortune 500 company, but to find a way to just continue to do something to move everything forward, you'll still be ahead of the folks who are frozen, right? Who are stuck, who are like still cycling through and like the mental load and the difficulty. Like if you can just find some way to get something done, it doesn't have to be, the Taj Mahal. It just has to be progress, like a little bit of progress getting forward. I think one, we'll feel better because we'll feel less stuck and we'll also have some sort of positive feedback, right? In our and some dopamine and some things that make us feel good and then just continue to get the wheel moving. But I totally understand when externally things are not positive, how difficult it can be to light the fire to get work done. And we just got to find a way to do that. Oh yeah. Anyway, there's D. D, what's going on? D, you were probably in the chat for a while. I just haven't gotten over there. Jay-Z says his goal for the year is $5,000 per month across the sites. So then my question is, John, is how close are you so far to that? So, I don't necessarily know how big of a goal that is. Like, are we going to have to get you from 1,000 to 5,000, or is it 4,000 to 5,000? Like, give me some context here so I know like what sort of goal we're talking about here. Build a niche site. He made it. What's going on? Welcome. People hitting the like button, thank you. People getting in here, thank you. I'm still looking for accountability statements. So, folks that you're in here, let me know what's going on. And also, if you are lurking and working, feel free to do so in the background. I just would love to know, hey, working. Also, we know that I believe our friend Josh is probably hiking. Josh, if you catch this on the replay, because you better not be here live when you're supposed to be on your hike. I hope you had a great time. And also, our friend Game Guy is supposed to be on a cruise right now. I'm pretty sure he bought the cruise with his website earnings. So, friend, if you were catching this on the replay later, I hope you had a great time. Andy says February was a slog around the full time work, but creating habits helps. Actually, that is a huge thing. Like writing content. So for me, if I write content consistently, like even if it's just one post every day, or like getting in a routine of setting down to say, okay, I'm going to do this near the end of the month. Like if I was to do it for 30 days, the end of the month it is much easier to sit down. It goes quicker. I feel less like mental energy goes into doing it because that muscle has been exercised. It has been strengthened. It is ready to flex. But for me, if I, and I'm in this right now where I haven't written much content in the last several months because I've been outsourcing it so much. So when I sit down to do it, it takes so much more to get that going. So if you are having a hard time committing to do like a short sprint, like a 7-day sprint, just to get maybe to form some new habits, that can really make a difference. Joanne says building to 100 posts at 68. So that gives you 32 more. You're going to get there soon. Says she's also added 5 Zoic video ads this week and feeling good. You should be proud. That's awesome. Keith says is congratulating Joanne. Still hasn't worked on his Zoic videos yet. Something I haven't done yet either. I did it on the Mega site. Nope, I didn't do it on the Mega site. I did it on my 2019 case study, and I just put I think 2 or 3 videos on my top on the pages that had the top amount of traffic. Like I had a couple of outlier posts. And so I didn't have time to make videos for everything, but I did go ahead and put videos on those. And they did earn a couple of dollars, but the RPM overall for that particular post was really low. So I don't know whether or not whether I'd recommend to myself to do it for the rest of the site because the RPM just wasn't that great on that particular video. So I don't feel like it was a good test, but I haven't continued to do it elsewhere. Jasper, what is going on? Jasper continues to impress me, staying consistent. And even though, there's ups and downs every month, I follow his videos and just track his progress. And it's been really great to watch him start some new projects and then really just continue to work them every month. It's great. Sonia says that her goal is to publish 5 to 8 articles a month. She's got a full-time job, so it's really hard to find time to publish, but something is better than nothing. Yes. Yes to so much of that. She's at 30,000 page views and working toward Mediavine. So that is a reaffirming statement of the goals that were set at the beginning of the year. Now here we are in March where the rubber has met the road. It's not going to be. Rubber is meeting road now. It is time to just put it out to the universe and say, this was my goal. I'm still committed to it. And saying it out loud so other people know, I think makes a difference. Let's see. It is hard when you have a full-time job. I see my chat just scrolled up, so I have lost where I was at, but I saw Sabina in the chat. What's going on, friend? Thank you for dropping in. Sabina and I've talked a little bit about the importance of mindset lately and how not a lot of people talk about it, but how in the beginning it's really hard to focus on, right? Because you're learning all the technical aspects of blogging, right? Like WordPress and, creating graphics and like the SEO and the on-page stuff and the how to do and sort of the mindset stuff. When those videos come out from more experienced bloggers, they tend to be like, yeah, whatever, this is this woo-woo stuff. Like that doesn't help me, or they feel like that is low value content. Like you get it on YouTube and you post mindset videos on YouTube and they tend to not do as well as technical aspects of blogging, but how important those videos become, or that content becomes at a later date, but it's just not appreciated by us in the beginning because we don't necessarily see how important it is. And but you just have to notice that over time, like every single creator I feel like that I have followed eventually makes the transition to talking about mindset. And it's probably a good signpost for where the rest of us will be going eventually, and the importance of paying attention to it. Leona, what is going on? She says, this month is a challenge regarding time and energy, but I'm taking on the challenge to move forward. Yes. Andy says he needs to dissect the EPMV data from Ezoic as it sucked in February. Yes, I had that experience as well. Fingers crossed for March. I'm going to just look forward to the summer and to Q4. Just try not to look at it. I did log into Ezoic, though, to check on the status of the fight site, because I had said I've been flip-flopping on this site about whether or not to continue to work really hard on it because it's really hard to do everything. And I'm like this close to crossing 5,000 page views a month. So you say, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, almost 9 months old with 100 articles on the site that gets 5,000 page views a month in a very competitive niche. So clearly not everything I touch is gold. So, I mean, and a lot of us are that way, right? Like we have a site that does really well, and then we have other sites that just don't necessarily do as well. The cool thing is that most of, I don't want to say all, but a lot of the indexing like issues have started to move. Like I wouldn't say it's perfect or resolved, but it's better. I did find, and I guess that's one thing I did in February, I did identify someone to help me write some content for the site. And so I feel now more comfortable putting the site down, as far as like something I focus on, just knowing that some other content will be created for that I can pretty easily edit and upload and still feel like this project is moving forward. So I am still working on it. I'm just not as a huge focus as before, but I feel less grumpy about the transition, I should say, because before I was feeling like really emotional about it and was really feeling like I quit or fail, and I don't like those words, even though there's nothing wrong with them. So I feel better now. Andy says, in an average day, how many articles do you knock out and over how many hours? So I will kick that to the chat as well. It's basically is asking how much work that you will do. And I am not a really good example of that, because when my kids are home, which is 60 to 70% of the time, I don't work at all. But when the kids are gone, I do nothing but work. So like this is my office and that is my bed over there. And so on the days where I have no children, I basically roll from their commute to the office to right here and then spend the entire day here. And if I have content that is in the hopper that was outsourced, I mean, however much it is, I will cruise through it. And so if it's 10 articles, I will post them all. And then if it's 25 or 30 articles, then I will post them all. So I will spend 12 hours in this chair, longer. But then, if you check my Project Icarus spreadsheet, you can see that there are many days where I just write kids where I didn't turn on my computer at all. I didn't check my email. I didn't do anything. So I don't think my work schedule is the average one. But I'm sure other people, and I don't think there probably is an average one. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Oh man, I did a written interview for a newsletter, and I was totally going to share that. Dang it! I'm gonna look for it now. Well, I'm not, because I don't want to be distracted and have people sit here where I'm like, let me look for this thing. Anyway, I'll share it when I can find it. Let's see. Dee says, feel like I need to drop this in here too. A really good watch. Is that Keith's video that you dropped in there, Dee? I'm not. It didn't work for me. I don't know why. Keith's video, if that's what you put in the chat, is also, I think, in the description of this video. So if you are interested in checking it out, then, and if it's not Keith's video, then I'm wondering what it is that features me. Oh yeah, it's Keith's video. Okay. 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 Let's see. Let's see. Shiny objects. Did I burn my arm or something? I did. I was making popcorn in a big shiny metal pot. And then as I went to pour it over, like I lost one hand of it and the whole bottom of the pot got like right on the edge right there. So right off the stove onto my arm. And then I was too busy like with the popcorn because I was afraid to spill it to go and put anything cold on it. So that's what happened. Parenting is dangerous. Building a site says yes, shiny object syndrome, anonymous. Uh, let's see. Our friend says, I switched from Popcorn to Cadence Pro, bought a copy a while back and decided to try it out. Yeah, would love to know what you think about it and just how they compare. And it'd be cool to know. Graham says, has anyone noticed that their sites have slowed down since the WordPress latest updates? I don't know that I've actually updated to the most current version of WordPress. I usually like to sit it out for a while and wait to see what happens in case it's a bad thing and then make decisions later. But I would, if anybody else could throw it out there, it'd be cool to know. Sabina says that she's struggling to find a new routine without husband's help. So did he go back to work? Still working. His meds make him so he's having a hard time just getting up to help. That is hard. That is hard. And finding, I mean, the routine for me is really key. So you have to let us know how that plays out. Sabina says she made $85 in February and may hit $100 in March. So will this be the first time then that you cross $100 a month mark? Because if so, I feel like that is something worth celebrating. Like every milestone, I feel like that has a one in it. Like the first dollar, and then $10, and the $100, and $1,000, and it's like a nice round number to reach for. Like taking aside to $10,000 a month. Like that's one of my goals, and so I'm going to be really excited for you the first time you cross $100 a month. Uh, Accountability, keep publishing. That is the goal. Yes. Abdesamad, and you'll have to forgive me for being terrible with names. I'm working on these things, but Abdesamad, he says he's lurking and working. That is totally acceptable and good on you. I'm glad. Eric says that he's targeting to do on average one article a day, which I think is well done. I think that's plenty when you have a full-time job and other life. Like to get one article a day done is pretty awesome. But wants to improve the content on the page, images, videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, very good goals. Chris says a cruise. Hope no one on the boat has COVID or y'all will get it. But we'll have to find out how he did and if he survives when a game guy comes back. Dee says for accountability that she wants to get 500 posts published across 4 sites. Was originally 365. So the goal has gone up. You're saying in the last 2 months since we launched this project in January. She's behind already, but we'll get there eventually. Yes, but it's like you still have plenty of time between now and December to figure out some way. I'm behind on my Otis age case study. I had planned to have, I think, 95 articles up by the end of this month, and I'm not really on track yet. And I was going to talk about that anyway, because I think I had originally said that the plan for the site was I was going to write all the content myself through March, because I was trying to do the same thing that I had done for the Mega site. And I basically just punted on that because the content wasn't getting written. I just didn't have the bandwidth and the energy for it. So I am looking at, and have started testing buy-sell text for this site and ordering content through them, and just looking to see, one, will they be able to write the content, and then at the per price per word rate that I'm willing to pay, because I'd previously ordered content from them and gotten a message back from them saying that it couldn't be done at that price. So I've been slowly ordering articles from them and just testing to see what comes back, and also to see what they're willing and able to do. But eventually I would just like to get, like, I have a bunch of articles in the queue to review today, and if they look good, I'm going to just go ahead and pretty much order all the content that I didn't due in February and for March so that I can get the site on track. I just need to get it on track. Corey says, for accountability, he wrote 20,000 words last week, which is well done. Hoping for another 20,000 this week. And as soon as my credits reset, more stock photos. Excellent. Maeve is here. What is going on? Thanks for dropping in. Graham says that his experience is 6 to 9 months before the sites get out of the Google kitty litter sandbox. Chris says that he aims for 1 article per day, and that's all. I feel like if you could get 1 article a day done, regardless of whatever else you thought you wanted to do or you need to do, like 1 article a day is progress. It's definitely progress. Jay-Z said, I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Maeve says, on an average day of blogging, I can write 4 to 5 articles. She has 2 writers and gets 4 to 6 back from them per day on the weekdays, which is quite a bit of content. Cutting back on writing to focus more on other stuff. Yeah, the big picture stuff. Eventually, you see a lot of people doing this, and I don't always know if this is a good thing, right? Like expanding, so they build up their blog, writing the content themselves, and then start outsourcing and trying to grow so fast, and then you have all these people to pay and all these things to do, and then like, could it work if we kept it simple? Like, probably still could. Maybe you wouldn't grow as fast or earn as much, but you wouldn't necessarily have the same expenses or stress as will. Eric says his target is an article per day. An article per day when you have a full-time job, I think is pretty great. People praising Keith for his video, which is awesome. Sabina says she tries to do an average of 700 words a day. I just think like creating something every day, if you can do that, it's pretty amazing. I don't get to there, right? There are many days where I put everything down and I do not touch this computer. So for those of you who could do something every day, I think it's amazing. Sabina works 2 hours a day on her blogs on top of a full-time job, and you have a gaggle of kids, which is amazing. You must be working so hard, and I don't know how you do it. Let's see. Build a Niche Side said that WordPress is so bloated and there are always issues with themes, plugins, and security issues. For my second site, I'm just coding it myself so that it will be fast and efficient. And I say, good for you. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that, but I'm glad you do. I hope it works out. Jasper says, and asks the question, has anyone seen a drastic decrease in Ezoic premium income? Mine has dropped like 70%. To the crowd, let's crowdsource that. Is anybody else in the chat who is enrolled with Ezoic premium seen a drop in the earnings in the last 30 days? Let's see. Graham says he is not sure if premium is worth it just yet. Pete jumping in for Josh Coop on the dad joke. He says, what's the most detail-oriented ocean? And the answer is the Pacific. I'm not sure if I got that. Oh, the modified dad joke AI. I don't even know if I got that one. Detail. Somebody might have to explain that one to me. I don't know. Stigs is here upside down and in caps, backwards and in caps, lurking and working. Chris's fault, that is all. Yes, well, I am still curious how your stuff is going. I feel like we haven't really heard from you in a while as far as how things are going. Eric says he's not a premium, so he cannot comment. Maeve says, did you hear there is a new chicken outlet in Ukraine? It's Keys. I don't know. Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can. Okay, I get that one. But I did not get the other one. And I feel like a doofus, right? When you see the joke and you're like, everybody else gets that, but I don't. And like, am I a moron? Build a niche site says Google still won't accept my Zoke account. So you're talking about Google Ad Manager. I think it's because my site is about indexing and backlinks, and Google doesn't like that. Interesting. Interesting. Also, for the sake of crowdsourcing the chat, how is indexing going for you? I would like to know just personally where things are at, because I seem to see things improving for my sites and without necessarily doing anything particular to make that happen. Um, specific. Okay, okay, okay. I feel like a doofus now. So yes, crowdsourcing as far as like how indexing is going, please put it in the chat or in the comments below if you're catching this on the replay, just so everybody kind of knows how things are going. And you can say, yep, indexing is still a beast and still a problem, or like seeing something positive happening. Also, this is the shout out I try to do at least once in a live stream, is just to remind folks that this is a safe space for you if you are a content creator, like you are a freelancer who does written content or images or photography or anything else. If you are looking for work, and if you are a publisher in the chat who needs content or images or graphics, you are welcome to just do a quick shout out, say, hey, I'm a publisher, are there any writers here, or looking for a writer or looking for written content? And if you are a freelancer, you can just say, hey, I'm a freelancer, I'm looking for work doing X. And then you guys can talk to each other away from, or here in the chat, or connect elsewhere. I've helped some people connect on Discord, because that is a place that I hang out. So that can help. Sabina says, things are still great, still not really checking. Okay. Build a niche site says, no issues on indexing on his end. All the articles on his first site are all indexed, which is awesome. Graham says indexing on both sites is working really well, taking about 6 to 12 hours, which is amazing. Pete coming in with a mod dad joke says, which bear is the most condescending? A panda. I got that one too. It's like finally like brought it down low enough to where I'm like, I get it. I gotcha. I don't have travel orders in place, and I'm kind of concerned about it. We're talking about for affiliate gathering. Yeah, it's I'm a little stressed out about it, actually. Anyway, I need to talk to Carl about it because, and by the way, Carl, if you are here, we need to know what is for tea. Nobody has asked that question, and if you were here on the replay, please put it in the comments below so that we know. Chris says that he's still waiting weeks to get things indexed. Maeve says on her seed site, which was DR16, indexing is taking 12 hours and going straight to the top 20, which is great. That's awesome. What did 30 do when he was hungry? 38. Har, har, har. Har, har, har. All right, folks. I know it's not quite the top of the hour yet, but I am going to head off and to do some work, and I feel like everybody here is probably going to do the same. As always, thank you for dropping in on Wednesday and checking in with me. I feel motivated. I feel more excited and energetic about this, and I hope that some of you who needed that moment did as well. It's great to have other people around who are like-minded, and I'm excited to see what I can do this week, and can't wait to come back next week and tell you all, ladies and gentlemen, that I did a lot of work and that I feel good about progress. We're almost through Q1, which means we're almost to the place where hopefully we will start to see ad rates pick up and commissions pick up and things looking up. So thank you so much for being here. It is Wednesday, and I will look forward to talking with you next Wednesday on Wednesday. Take care.